We have gathered way more Assassin's Creed Mirage story-related news, including some more information about Roshan, Basim's mentor, the Hidden Ones organization, and the fortress of Alamut, all of them with some exclusive comments coming from our interview with Art Director Jean-Luc Sala. We're also going to discuss a new female character from the game, some new confirmed historical characters, some of whom will be part of the Hidden Ones, and finally, a reference to the quote-unquote anomalies, hopefully the Animus Anomalies actually being part of the game. So once again, no time to waste, let's dive into the recent story-related news of Assassin's Creed Mirage. And we start with some news about Roshan, the master assassin that is going to be Basim's mentor in the game. We already know that she's going to be voiced by actress Shoreh Aghdashloo, and she will be 50-something years old in the game, a mature woman with a past that she will try to hide, as she was formerly a Persian slave, which apparently was a life of oppression that she fled before joining the Hidden Ones and becoming a master assassin at the fortress of Alamut. Interestingly enough, the Mirage website states that Basim will be her first apprentice, so we'll see how she fares, especially considering that she is seemingly very interested in Basim's quote-unquote unique legacy, as mentioned in the dev trailer breakdown. I imagine the easy guess for Basim's unique legacy would be him being an Asgardian sage or reborn Isu, but if Roshan was actually interested in that, would that make her a trustworthy mentor or not? Or maybe she just believes Basim does have the proper qualities to become a Hidden One and increase the power of the Brotherhood. According to narrative director Sarah Beaulieu, Roshan is going to be in the game from the beginning to the end, which bears the question as to what kind of part she is going to play in Basim's life. She's going to train him, yes, but for which actual purpose? Helping the Hidden Ones or else? Roshan is going to be the one that brings Basim into the Hidden Ones, and she's going to play a big role into the evolution of his character, and on this topic, Art Director Jean-Luc Sala did weigh in during our recent interview, where he talked not only about her, but also about another female character in the game.
We have more than one important female character.
Okay, so there
is one I just want not to talk about.
Okay.
So she's going to be a surprise.
Okay.
And yeah, she's around. And,
she's around.
She's around.
She's a kick-ass.
She's helping Basim in a way, and sometimes not. But yeah.
Okay.
But the other one, the one I can talk about, because she's in the trailer, Roshan. She's a master assassin.
Yeah.
She's Basim's mentor. She's not the best assassin of that time because there is another one, but she's really strong. And in the trailer, the reveal of Roshan is just like, wow, okay, this is an assassin the way I imagine they would behave in such a place. So she's going to train Basim because she see he is fit to be an assassin, but she also have issues with him because she will really soon discover that he is not so fit. Roshan is really she's not the young girl around the hero and so. No, she's 50 years old. She's just kick-ass. She knows the trade. She knows what to do, and yes, she's a very cool character.
So yes, Roshan will choose Basim because she believes he'll become a good assassin, but soon there will be issues between them. In an interview with Game Rant, creative director Stéphane Boudon stated that the relationship between Roshan and Basim will be a classic mentor-student one, with Roshan seeing the potential in him and trying to help him find the answer to his issues, specifically the nightmares and visions that affect him, but apparently at some point Basim will cross a line and there will be some kind of conflict between him and Roshan, so we'll see how that pans out. But Roshan will be but one of the assassins, or shall we say hidden ones in the game, because according to Sarah Beaulieu in an interview with Game Reactor, for the first time, Mirage will show the behind the scenes of the hidden ones as an organization, allowing to see how the organization works, how many hidden ones are there, etc. And this is going to be shown within the other setting of the game, that is Alamut, the hidden one's stronghold that is being built during the events of the game. And speaking of the organization and structure of the Hidden Ones, in a report by Eurogamer, it was stated that after his initiation, Basim will be welcomed by the Hidden Ones amidst their ranks, and he will be surrounded by the Hidden Ones' upper echelons, meaning potentially not only Roshan, and he will also meet other people and characters that support the Hidden Ones without being part of them. Sadly, we don't know more about this, but this can give us an idea about how structured and supported the Brotherhood is at this time. Alamut itself and its surroundings, according to creative director Stéphane Boudon, would also be a great place to find out more about the history of the Hidden Ones and discover, using the source words, what happened between Bayek and the foundation of the Brotherhood and the events shown in Assassin's Creed 1, and more specifically in the lead up to the turning point where the Hidden Ones became the Assassins following the Reformation operated by Hassan Isa Ba in the 11th century AD. Speaking of the history of the Hidden Ones, in an interview with GameSpot, art director Jean-Luc Sala said that Mirage takes place 100 years before the creation of the Creed, not really sure what he meant there, and that in the game we will see the fortress of Alamut, and the fortress itself will undergo an ongoing construction that will take a lot of time to be completed, for reasons that he didn't want to explain. Sala added that once it's completed, quote-unquote, that's when the Hidden Ones would be turned into the Assassins. But according to the lore, while the Hidden Ones were indeed turned into the Assassins between the 10th and 11th century, Alamut was quote-unquote newly constructed by the end of the events shown in Valhalla, that would be between 878 and 879 AD, so I'm not quite sure whether there's an inconsistency here as to when the fortress was actually completed, whether in 878 or 100 years after the events in Mirage, which would be around 960 AD. I guess we'll see. I'm actually more interested into why it's taking so long to complete the fortress. Maybe it's because of the Isu temple located underneath it that was teased in the Assassin's Creed Revelations guide. Sala also added that the switch to a public facade from the Hidden Ones to the Assassins will be the same for the Order of the Ancients to the Templars, though while this happens with King Alfred the Great in the 9th and 10th century, it should happen 1 or 2 centuries later with the Hidden Ones and the Assassins, with the Assassins coming out of the darkness and into the light under Hassan Isa Ba, as we mentioned earlier. Nevertheless, Gamefront reports that within Mirage the Hidden Ones will already start to ask themselves if and when it's time to get out of the shadows and present themselves as a public organization, as Jean-Luc Sala seemed to confirm during our interview while we were discussing Alamut.
There is a little fortress on the mountain. Okay, yeah, that's Alamut.
That's very interesting because, of course, Alamut was mentioned in past games.
A lot of time. It's the cradle of the. That's where the Hidden Ones started to stop being Hidden Ones and saying we are assassins, and changed the way they interact with the world. They were hidden, and at one point they started to say we are the assassins. That's what we do. We are going to stay hidden, but we have our own place. A place that is ours, not hidden everywhere. So that's the beginning of the Assassin's name. It's too early in our game to start to call them Assassins because they are not yet there. But they start to have this vision of their future and build a fortress that is going to be their cradle. So we took the opportunity. We took the opportunity to show Alamut.
We also got more news about the historical context and characters that we are going to see in the game, some of whom are even going to be part of the Hidden Ones, as we'll see later. According to a report by Jeux Vidéo, we do know that Basim is going to meet several historical characters such as politicians, caliphs, and rebel leaders of the time. One of the main historical events that the story will revolve around is going to be the beginning of the Zanj Rebellion, as confirmed by narrative director Sarah Beaulieu to Game Reactor. The Zanj Rebellion was a major insurrection led by African slaves against the Abbasid Caliphate after they had been captured and deported from Southeast Africa and taken to the Middle East, mainly to drain the region's salt marshes. The rebellion started in 869, that would be 8 years after the supposed start of Mirage in 861, and it was one of the bloodiest and most vicious uprisings amidst those that hit the Abbasid Caliphate. This is the main historical event that the narrative team will base the clash between the Hidden Ones and the Order of the Ancients on in this game, and as of now, we do know that in Mirage we are going to meet the leader of the Zanj rebellion, that is Ali bin Muhammad, who as of now has been described to be very charismatic and will supposedly have a huge impact on Basim. By the way, if you'd like to know more about the Zanj Rebellion and Ali bin Muhammad, you can check out a super interesting thread by senior editor at Arab Hardware Ahmed El Sayeg, whose link you can find in the description. But we have more confirmed historical characters, and this time it's 3 scholars that will work with the Hidden Ones and that were mentioned in 2 interviews with IGN Brazil and Jeux Vidéo. They are the Banu Musa brothers, I hope I didn't butcher the pronunciation there, and historically they were 3 Persian scholars and inventors who lived and worked in Baghdad. They were famous for their automatic machines and mechanical devices, and also for their work in geometry and mathematics. According to Wikipedia, they worked in astronomical observatories in Baghdad and also did research in the House of Wisdom, so those are some of the locations where we might find them, but the most interesting side to them within Mirage is that these 3 inventor brothers are going to be part of the Hidden Ones. In an interview with Jeux Vidéo, creative director Stéphane Boudon mentioned that these brothers will help Basim develop his weapons and tools, and thus their support will also be tied to the upgrades and effects of the weapons and tools in the game. As we already mentioned in other videos, there will be a tree, not sure if it's part of the skill tree or it's a dedicated one, where players will be able to choose the various different effects for the tools and weapons, and I'd imagine, although it's not confirmed, that said tree will be tied to the Banu Musa brothers. Finally, we got some news on the modern day of Mirage, sort of. Through an interview with GameSpot, Art Director Jean-Luc Sala confirmed that there will not be any present-day segment in the game other than the actual beginning and end of the game itself, which will mostly be used to contextualize that this is an Animus experience, but in general the Art Director stated that the modern day is not part of the purpose of the game. Moreover, even these 2 minor sections will not be playable, meaning that they will only be cutscenes, as mentioned by creative director Stéphane Boudon in an interview with GameRant. Nonetheless, in an interview with Arab Hardware, lead producer Fabian Salamon, when asked about the modern day Mirage, mentioned that there will be some quote-unquote anomalies with a capital A, which I'd imagine will be similar to the Animus Anomalies puzzles that we have seen in Valhalla, which did contain some modern day dialogues and also some Isu story information specifically involving Loki and his mistress Alethea, so I guess and hope we can have more of that, both to add even just a few more info about the modern day, but also to listen to some more audio files from the Isu times. Or who knows, maybe the anomalies here will have a totally different take. So that was the last of our story related news about Assassin's Creed Mirage for today, but while we still haven't gotten the chance to see any gameplay footage of Mirage, there's still a lot of gameplay and war related info out there about the stealth aspects of the game, the city of Baghdad and more, and we did try to collate all of them in a dedicated video that you can see on screen right now, so you can find all of them in a single place. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in our next video.